Hello everyone, it's Rachel here again with another Iyengar yoga tip of the week, and this week I'm looking at forward bends and how to help those of us that find it difficult to catch our feet or to get down to the floor in poses like Uttanasana and Padangusthasana. I'm going to show you Padangusthasana as an example, and in this pose what happens is the feet are slightly apart and we take hold of the big toe with the first two fingers with the thumb pressing on top of the toenail. We go down, the hands come down, you grab your big toes and then you look forwards and you bend the elbows and take your body towards your legs. Okay, so the fingers are like this, big toes the fingers are wrapped around underneath the big toe and the thumb presses on top. The other two fingers, ring finger and little finger, are just on top like that, relaxing. And that's called, well, I call it the Padangustha grip. Okay. Now, the thing is that we often give people belts because they can't reach the feet. But what I like to do with some students is to say, okay, you can't reach the feet today, you can use a belt, or you can do it this way. So they still start off like everybody else with the legs straight. They come forwards. Sometimes we take the arms up and go forwards. But generally, if they're stiffer, I tend to get them to hinge from the hips and then stretch the arms down. And then when they come to the point where they can't reach the feet, instead of giving them a belt, I tell them to bend the knees. And when they bend the knees, they can usually catch the big toe and get that feeling of what it's like to hold the big toe, okay? Because it's a very unique feeling. It's very different from holding the belt. And then what I say to them, okay, you've got your belly hopefully resting towards your thighs. You're still stretching your arms. You're still opening the chest. You can still concave the upper back and look forwards. Now see if you can keep the heel bones pressing down and the tops of the thighs pressing back, and very slowly, without letting your body push up, straighten the legs. And often what happens is they'll straighten the legs much more than they expected to, or even they might even get all the way. Okay, and it's important to emphasize the heel bone pressing down and the top of the thigh pressing back to straighten the legs, so that people don't do this. If you watch the difference here, now I'm going to do a quick slam of the knees back, which is not good for your knees, it's not good for your hamstrings. So to push the heel bones down, the very top of the thigh back, outer hips lifting up to straighten the legs. Okay, so that's just one version of a standing forward bend, going into it with bent legs, not starting off with bent legs. We're not bending the knees and going down like this. Okay, we start off with that the integrity of the pose, Tadasana. You can even do it with the arms up. You go forwards, and then you might get to that point and think, I can't bend anymore. So then you bend the legs to catch the big toes. That's the difference. Now, if we take that into a seated version of a forward bend, something like Pascimottanasana, for example. So here, the legs can be together or a little bit apart if you have a lower back problem or if you're menstruating. And then we take the arms up and we go forwards. And then you might get to here and think, right, I can't catch the feet, so I'm going to hold the mat or put my hands here or get a belt. All absolutely valid ways to do the pose. But if we link it to the standing version that we just did, the standing pose we just did, and start with the legs bent, you can still use the belt, or you can have a go at catching the feet. I like to use the belt, just it gives me a little bit more room in the chest, and I hold it very close to the feet, and then I lift myself up. So that resistance, pulling on the outer edges of the feet, drawing the shoulders back, lifting the chest up, gives more length in the front body. And then I imagine I'm bound to my legs, so my belly is pressing, my chest is pressing into my thighs, and then I scrub my heels along the mat, you can hear that noise, keep my body close to my legs, and then I end up closer towards my shins, and obviously closer towards my feet with my hands. I can go forwards and try and catch the wrist or just hold the bottom edges of the feet and go forwards. And it's a much more intense stretch on the back of the leg, of course, but it feels great in the back actually, because we're not pulling this way. Very often you see people going for the feet like this, and obviously they're really keen to get to that final pose, but if you can just back off a little bit and try and move the front of the body forwards by keeping it close to the legs in this way, you might even find that it's a much more comfortable pose. And after all, we're trying to reach that point of effortless effort in our practice. And this is definitely one of the ways to improve your forward bends. Thanks for watching. See you next time.